Hi, welcome to Local Flavor. I'm Deborah Anderson. We're back in Moreland at Aunt Faye's Community Kitchen. It's a professional kitchen that anybody can rent for any reason, so check it out if you haven't been. Today I'm making something that I've kind of avoided because it's a bit of an ordeal just to cut up the pork, but I've done that in advance so you don't have to endure it with me. And it's called Instant Pot Carnitas. So I have 4 pounds of pork shoulder, and it came on a giant hunk, 10 pounds with a bone. I just cut off 4 pounds of meat that's gonna need very little work afterwards so that we can quickly fork it apart and get it all shredded. But the other half of it that I made into carnitas was a lot of work in terms of getting, I don't like to feel any of that fat in it or anything and get it deboned and all that. So we got it easy today. And I have my Instant Pot on saute. And I'm putting in a little bit of oil. Now, I cut these up yesterday, so I went ahead and seasoned them a little bit overnight. So I've got just salt and pepper on these chunks. And I'll probably have to do this in at least 4 batches, so we won't do it all on camera, but I wanted to let these large chunks of salt soak in. I have a pepper grinder, that's what I use for that, and then I would generously salt it. And the salt I'm choosing today is the Colima sea salt, and it's made from the sea notes down in Mexico, and they're attached to the sea. So it's kind of like sea salt, but they're not actually from the sea. I think some people call it cenote. I don't know, but that's where it comes from. And I like that it's in big chunks and it has I don't know, it seems to taste different to me. It probably doesn't, but it seems like it to me. So when this gets hot enough, I'm gonna just sear these off. They don't have to cook all the way, but I'll put some in and sear it off about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Not quite ready. And I didn't put much salt on now, but I put quite a bit on last night, so I would generously salt it. It is 4 pounds of meat. So add quite a bit more than you would if this was your plate. There we go, there's a sizzle. So I will let these go on both sides. And then once this batch is done, I'll set in the next batch until we get them all seared. And then we'll start adding the other ingredients. And I have those all setting up here, except for one, the best one. So we'll talk about that later. But searing does a couple things. It sears in a little bit of the juices and the flavors, and it gives you those magical little spots on the bottom that you scrape off for extra flavor. Okay, let's take a short break already, and I'll go ahead and sear these. It's a little hot. And when we come back, we'll add all the stuff back in.
Trust Rogers & Associates Insurance to keep your peace of mind through all the seasons in life. Whether you're cozy at home memory making with your family, on an outdoor adventure with the top down, floating on a boat, or in the middle of harvest, we can customize an insurance plan that's perfect for you. For all the seasons, we've got you covered. Call us or visit us online to learn more today.
We built this network for you.
We're constantly optimizing our network to provide reliable coverage utilizing cutting-edge technology.
We invest in Kansas because we're Kansans too.
And as exciting next-generation technologies become reality, we can trust that we're working to bring it to your neighborhood.
So wherever you go, just know we got you covered.
We're friends.
We're neighbors.
We are Kansas.
At Next Generation, we're working to keep kids local, and you can help. Your gift of any amount provides opportunities for high school and college students to experience local careers with local businesses right here at home.
Opportunities for paid internships that teach students about their local community and prepare them with hands-on job skills now, so they are ready to remain local for the future.
Like me in Plainville.
Like me in Phillipsburg.
Students like me in Waukene.
Hey, welcome back to our Carnitas episode. We are searing the pork, and I'm just at the last part of it. And they kind of let loose enough fat from them that it's not searing so hot anymore. But we've got accomplished what we need to do. The first ones look a little better. And I'm gonna start by going ahead and putting some garlic in before we put up the other fluids, just so they can cook a little in that nice seasoned oil. So we're gonna put in 5 cloves of fresh garlic. Ooh, I better turn off the saute for a minute. Yeah, we're not gonna saute anymore other than this. And it has enough heat left over, I think. Ooh, this is gonna smell good. All cooked up like that. And then this has a lot of fluids with it. So we'll start pouring those in. And then finally the seasoning. Oops. Be nice. It's getting a little too down. I'm going to put some more, little bit of fluid in with it. Spoiler alert, it has beer in it. Oh, I'm so tired of picking this garlic skin out. Someday, I've got to find a different solution for garlic. Send your ideas to Farron. She'll pass them on to me. Okay, I want a wooden spoon to saute this a little bit. Normally, I'd go a lot more minutes, but since it's in a pressure cooker, it's not even required. I just did this. This was my own idea. So let's start putting in the fluids. And we are going to put in a whole can of any kind of Mexican beer like Tecate or Corona. It has to be Mexican beer because this is a Mexican dish. Carnitas is a Mexican word. So it did call for Mexican beer. And we're going to put in a cup of orange juice. If you have carnitas at the restaurant, sometimes there's pineapple chunks in it. And this does not have any real fruit. It's going to get a little bit of sweetness from the orange juice, but it's not too overpowering. We are not putting apple cider in. That is for another recipe. I didn't. But we are going to put a whole half cup of lime juice, and this gives a delightful flavor to this pork. I love the liminess of it. And I don't think this smells that great cooking because the beer kind of, I'm used to more like really heavy, savory flavors cooking. But it tastes really good at the end. I need these things. Now we're gonna put in our dry ingredients. I'll just add a little bit more salt because we should really season this well. But I put a lot on the pork too. And I need a teaspoon of onion powder. Two teaspoons of chili powder, and I'm using this stuff from Penzeys. I love Penzeys. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I order them online, and they are the most fresh spices. And usually, like if I'm making chili, Doyle says, don't put in that much of the Penzeys because it's so flavorful, you don't need quite as much. And some chipotle, ground chipotle peppers. That's my addition too, just because why not? I just love the Penzies, and I love their almond flavoring. Okay, so how much oregano do we need? About a teaspoon. I'm trying to make it look like I'm measuring it, but I'm not measuring it. And we do not need this. So, where did I do cumin? I did not. This, I need about a teaspoon of cumin. And I'm gonna stir it one more time just to get those nice and mixed. And to make sure I'm scraping the bottom so there's no delicious pieces of pork that aren't included in it. I don't feel any crumbs at the bottom. And now after, I'm gonna put in the rest of the pork. This will splash like crazy, so I'm gonna be careful. I do think if you cook it on the bone with the fat, it does turn out a little more tender, but it's also a huge pain because you have to use pretty much your fingers when you tear it apart. So I've got most of that trimmed off. It will not be as tender, but it will be easier to work with. And there is something magical about cooking it on the bone, or at least my dog thinks so, because she loves bones. She really loves them. And she really doesn't just chew on them, she eats them. So, there we go. Ready to cook. I'm gonna put my lid on and go ahead and seal it. It's making the happy noise like I'm in there. There it is. Seal it. Make sure this is set to sealing. I'm gonna stop what it was on. Now it's on off. And I'm gonna set it on meat for 60 minutes. Yesterday when I did it, when I hit meat, it was only 30 minutes and I had to punch it up to 60. So do pay attention. They're preset, but it's not always the same. So I'm cooking this for 60 minutes on high power. And then I'm gonna let the pressure release naturally. It has to release naturally for at least 15 minutes, and I'll probably let it go until it's really fully released, especially since we don't have a bone in there. So let's take a break and let this do its magic.
The team at Homestead Assisted Living is a proud supporter of the Hayes community. Located just west of the Sternberg Natural History Museum, Homestead is a warm and welcoming community where residents receive compassionate care from licensed professionals. If you're curious about senior living options for yourself or a loved one, make Homestead your first call. Our kind and courteous staff would love to show you around and answer any questions you may have. Call us today to schedule a tour of Homestead or visit us online at homesteadofhayes.com.
Here at Nex-Tech, we've delivered the best in phone technology for 70 years, and we're still at it today with cloud phone systems for business. Cloud phone is all about agility. It goes where you go, when you go, and it's cost effective. So give Nex-Tech a call and find out how cloud phone can be as nimble as you are. Then sign a qualifying contract and choose a little something extra. Apple AirPods Pro or an Apple Watch SE, another layer of connectivity.
Hey Nex-Tech customers, would you like a chance to win free service on your Nex-Tech bill? Well, here's your chance. On the first Sunday of every month, tune in to Nex-Tech Local 1 at 6 p.m. and play along with Nex-Tech Sunday Fun Day Bingo. If you miss an episode, don't worry about it. It'll replay every night at 6 p.m. Use your cards included with your Nex-Tech bill or print your own at nextech.com/bingo. Nex-Tech Sunday Fun Day Bingo is brought to you by these awesome sponsors.
Hey, welcome back. Our pork has finished cooking and it's been releasing for about 25 minutes. It's actually still not done. So I'm gonna help it along at the end. So we can take the lid off. Look at that. Let me see if it smells like beer. And I'm gonna take a few chunks. I will take all of it out, but just to show you, I'll take a few chunks of pork out and use some forks to break it up. Where are the forks? Just break it apart with a few forks. And then what we're gonna actually do, we're not gonna do this to dry it out, so we'll put a little bit of the juices on with it. We are gonna put it in the broiler to get the edges crisp. And if Doyle does it, he likes them till they're almost burnt, and then he flips them over and does the other side. I'm perfectly fine with eating it straight out of here, but if you want it to be crunchy like you see in the restaurants, you get it by putting it in the broiler. So we'll broil at least part of it. Man, that was a tight pressure. It is still locked up. And then we can serve this. It's really good with not even with cheese or anything, just tortillas, maybe a little bit of cilantro. And I think today I'm gonna make some into pork nachos. So we'll have some of that goopy aged cheddar cheese that you get in a can and put it on some chips. Okay, now when I take this lid off, I'm gonna set it to, go ahead and clear it and set it to saute because I want that fluid to cook off quite a bit. So it'll thicken up. And then I store all the leftovers in the juice because the time that I like to broil it is to warm up the leftovers. But you do not want this to dry out because you've made such a perfect little porkness. So look at these, and now I don't have to, oh my goodness, see how easily it's breaking up? Doesn't that look delish? And you can really, what I smell the most is the lime and the cumin, so it smells really, really authentic. Look at the steam. I'm getting a facial and I'm not loving it. Look at that. It is just falling apart. So I would just wrap this up in a tortilla right now and eat it hot. Maybe some cilantro, and I do have some cilantro. But we are going to follow what is intended and the way LaDoyle likes it. And we're gonna crisp up the top. I'm not gonna burn it the way he does, get it to burnt, but that's probably enough for just a little bit. I am gonna put some sauce on it because like I said, the point is not to dry it out. It's just to crisp up the top. So I got my little tiny, tiny pan. And this will be better when it's thickened up. Let's go ahead and broil it and it'll take about probably 5 minutes per side. I probably will not flip it. I just feel like it stirs it up. I'll see. We'll see. It'll be a surprise.
For over 70 years at Nex-Tech, we've tackled new technologies and created a powerful fiber network to bring you the fastest, most reliable internet. Being connected is essential. That's why we're proud to offer the only gig symmetrical internet around. Visit Nex-Tech.com to sign up for any new internet speed and get a $100 credit, or upgrade your current speed and pay your same price for 3 months. Nex-Tech, here for you then, now, and for whatever comes next.
Trust Rogers & Associates Insurance to keep your peace of mind through all the seasons in life. Whether you're cozy at home memory making with your family, on an outdoor adventure with the top down, floating on a boat, or in the middle of harvest, we can customize an insurance plan that's perfect for you. For all the seasons, we've got you covered. Call us or visit us online to learn more today.
The team at Homestead Assisted Living is a proud supporter of the Hayes community. Located just west of the Sternberg Natural History Museum, Homestead is a warm and welcoming community where residents receive compassionate care from licensed professionals. If you're curious about senior living options for yourself or a loved one, make Homestead your first call. Our kind and courteous staff would love to show you around and answer any questions you may have. Call us today to schedule a tour of Homestead or visit us online at homesteadofhayes.com.
Okay, welcome back. We have broiled our meat and it looks kind of crispy on the edges, like that's how we're supposed to. I did add a little bit more fluid because it had pretty much cooked away. So I like mine just in a tortilla. The meat has just got a lot of flavor. It doesn't need a whole lot. Maybe some cilantro. Oh, let me get something to take a bite with. Actually, I just eat them with my hands, but we'll see. Let me cut it in half so you can see how easy that meat tears. Oh, somebody's car alarm. And then I'm gonna make some pork nachos too. So I'll put a little bit on top because they're a big hot thing at the fairs and festivals these days. So I just wanted to see how it goes. Usually those are more barbecue pork, but I thought it would be good. So let's see if it's as tender and delicious as it looks. You know what? Very limey. I love lime. And the cilantro actually is a huge plus. I have some salsa for my chips too. Let me try one on a chip. That is good meat. I'd definitely pay $7 for that at the fair. Definitely. So I hope you loved learning how to make carnitas and that you'll give it a try. It is delicious. Here's all the rest of the meat we need to tear up. We will pull it and store it in the juice to store it so it doesn't dry out. So, delicious lunch. I will see you next time here from Aunt Faye's Community Kitchen for local flavor.